I'm Neal. I'm also from ID China. So thanks to Global Innovation Field Trip for offering this great opportunity. In the past couple of years, we have been promoting this invention education in China. I would say one of the fundamental elements in this movement is to help more educators understand invention education, know its importance, and be able to practice it. I'm very happy to share with you our explorations in doing this trainer-trainer program. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, turned out to be a bit slow. Yeah, so many of us already know that the ability to innovate is critical to our children's personal development. So this is of no doubt. If we decompose this ability, we get the following 7 key competencies, I think, which matters the most, which also in the long run support their career success no matter in which industry they will be working in. And these competencies are continuously looking for problems that are worth to be solved, searching for the most useful information, and also use critical thinking to solve problems from end to end, and being able to communicate and promote themselves or their ideas to a wider audience. Adapt actively to the environment around them, and know how to collaborate within a team and demonstrate their leadership. And finally, I think they will be learning, stay curious throughout their lives. So that's the most critical thing. So if you think about it, these competencies are exactly what the invention process will help to develop, and in a direct way. Inventing is to learn to notice, to think and solve problems. The more you practice it, the more you will be able to make any innovation that solve the real problems in the future. In the past few years, STEM education has become a hot topic in China. So people already started to understand the importance of cross-disciplinary education in different schools and educational institutions. And PBL, or as known as the project-based learning, as a new learning form, I think it has appeared in some of the educational institutions, especially, and also in schools. As a result, there has been a lot of STEM programs arising here and there, with different focus areas such as programming, 3D printing, robotics, etc. There are also competitions and science fairs which are rooted from these programs. So many of these programs are focusing on solving predefined problems, however, using predefined technologies. They are helpful, which is of no doubt, in developing students' problem-solving skills in a certain technology domain. However, as time goes on, they are trying to evolve to cover the other key competency areas, which we already shared in the previous slide. Most importantly, the ability to search for meaningful problems, solve the problem from end to end, and effectively communicate and promote their solutions to the outside world. So here, we have a call for invention-based education. This is a trend that we see. Let's look at some interesting figures. So as I collected, there are 650,000 primary and middle schools in China from grade 1 to 12. And there are 220 million students in those schools, which is quite huge. Yes. And there are 13 million teachers serving in those schools. In the latest China STEM education execution plan, which is targeting to year 2029, it was released in 2018. There are listed 307 STEM pioneering schools out of the 650 million. And with 79 STEM pioneering teachers as the seeds out of these 13 million teachers. So how many of them are ready to practice invention education beyond the STEM? And how many practitioners are there outside schools? We don't know. There might be very few. So again, here we have a call for invention-based education. That's what we see. So here's what we are doing. In IDE China and together with IF Global, we already started to do this trainer-trainer program, or as known as the PD program, from last year. This is the overview of the program. For anyone who is interested to become an invention educator, we have basically offered two development opportunities. On the left side, for teachers from educational institutions, we're providing the IF China Invention Program Trainer Training. It's a 2-day program. After the participant completed it, he or she will be able to learn the skills and the process for invention education. We'll also understand how to facilitate an invention education program with students in their own institutions. And on the right side, for public school teachers and also even for parents, we are offering the invention program teacher training. It's designed as a 1-day workshop, and in future will also be available as an online course. The learning objectives for these two trainings are quite similar. However, there are some difference in the content, also in the practices and in the instructions for invention program deployment with the students. So after achieving IFPT, oh, sorry, I was going too fast. Yeah, after achieving IFPT, the trainer will be able to take the next step to become a IF Global Invention Program trainer. So that's the development path that we have designed for these two different categories. Yeah. And yeah, in June last year, 2019, we did our first invention program teacher training in Chengdu, China. I still clearly remember that 45 school teachers from 12 public schools of Sichuan province, they joined this training. The training is designed to help teachers to understand the process and how to engage their students to join the invention convention in practice. The local science association has helped a lot with teachers' enrollment. The feedback of this training was pretty good. After session, many teachers, I remember they have already started to integrate the invention program into their existing science courses, their existing curriculums. And they also came up with students' inventions finally. And I think they will be registering this year's FIC, the Invention Convention. So this is another try. In August of last year, we did another training program with 8 STEM practitioners from education institutions around China. The participants have a different background. If I remember right, some of them are STEM trainers, some are even founders of the STEM institutions. There are also even parents who are big fans of the invention education. So different than the training for school teachers, this was a 2-day workshop, as I mentioned, for those who teach STEM outside schools. The training is designed to be more focusing on practicing the whole invention process, involving the group discussion, scenario demos, and also some case studies. We also did a real invention judging circle with the participants. There was a very hot discussion and experience sharing from each other in these 2 days. And in the end, we received excellent feedback about this training. And also we received the feedback about where we can improve in the future. Right, so finally, I want to share some of my own reflections and the outlook of this program. Firstly, completed the missing part in STEM. I think invention education is right now taking off in China. There is big challenges, while also there are huge opportunities due to the lack of experienced trainers and teachers, and also the huge student base in China. While our training program has received very good feedback, we also see there are concrete needs, especially to tailor the content of the invention program in order to better integrate it into the existing Chinese schools curriculums. There's very direct needs also to move the training to online for easy access, especially in current pandemic situation. Also, as a next step, we are targeting to promote this training program to a wider audience. We also expect to see a few global invention program trainers this year, which will be developed. Right, we are looking forward to inviting more professionals to join us in driving this educational transformation in China. Yeah, I think that's all. So thank you for your time.
Neal, how important is it to locate these trainers? Is this what's going to keep your invention conventions going?
Yes, I would say it's very important to locate these trainers. So mainly they are coming from different STEM educational institutions, and some of them are coming from the schools, for example, in the Chengdu case. And I also know that especially in Hangzhou, we also have quite a huge number of teachers who are very interested in joining this program. So mainly two sources, the institutions and the schools.
So are these all volunteer-based positions?
Well, for teachers, yeah, most of them are volunteered, and for STEM institutions, it's volunteered, but we kind of charge a little bit for those courses.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's totally free for the schools for now. Yeah.
And why was this interesting for you, Neal? What is your background?
Good question. Good question. Actually, I'm working in an international telecommunication company for now, and as a leader. But in my spare time, I also see that it's really inspiring to help the others, especially the students, to grow in China. And I also see that in the STEM area, especially in the invention education area, there's a huge gap here in China. So it's really enriching in my life, I would say, to practice in this field. Yeah.
Were you an inventor as a young kid?
You mean me or my kid?
Well, are you an inventor also? Did you do that when you were little? Did you create and build things?
I have been doing that ever since I was a young kid, and I'm still doing that right now in my company. Yeah.
Very nice.
Also, I'm trying to educate my kid to be a young inventor. He has already came up with some small inventions. Yeah.
Hey, Neal, real quick question for you. While you're conducting this training, you went through it and it sounded like it was very organized, you're training, but some of the items that you're training these trainers on, they seem like they're pretty intense, like mastering the invention process. I mean, that must be pretty tough to get someone who is just getting into the system to really grasp, right?
Mm. Right. And I also think that this is the important thing in invention education, because for most of the teachers or the practitioners in STEM, they understand that the importance of this design and testing parts. But what is more important is how to identify a problem and how to come up with different solutions, and how to, let's say, pick the most useful solutions out of those. So this is actually a very scientific process. And to understand this process will help not only the teachers, but also the students to invent more in their future career. I think this is the most important and also most interesting part in doing this invention education. And also we are missing this communication part in the normal STEM education. So try to teach the student how to promote themselves. So this one is a kind of lack in most of the Chinese education. So we also want to focus on that one.
Yeah. Do you kind of teach them to try to take the emotion out of the work? Because I find myself sometimes when I see a really cool idea or a great invention idea, I immediately want to tell the inventor how great it is. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. I think emotion or energy or passion, whatever you call it, is really the source in invention, right? you need to have that energy, or otherwise you're just doing your daily work like routine. So it's makes no difference.
Yeah. Well, you guys probably, and I'm just going off of your colleagues. It seems like, right? They got a great organization there. I mean, you guys seem like you're having fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is. This is exactly what brought us together. Yeah.
And I think that the IDE education model is a great model for other countries, other organizations to look towards. It looks very, it has a strategic order of things. You know, you want your judges to be like this. You want your volunteers to do this. You're holding them to really high standards, which is very cool. And it's also, you know, what you're asking these trainers to learn is really what all humans need to learn: how to problem solve, how to talk to one another with kindness, even if you disagree with them. So I think what you're teaching is just really great human skills.
Right. That's essential skill for human being, I would say. Yeah. Fully.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Team, thank you for bringing your amazing crew in here.
Thank you.
Should be very proud of them. They represent IDE very well. I would love for them to represent anything that I do, just because they're very well spoken, and we just really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.